For clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
President Trump also has told Fox's Hannity he is still considering land strikes to continue a crackdown on illegal drugs after the Venezuela operation. The Senate voted to advance a war powers resolution aiming to force the president to get congressional approval for future action.
It's a clear rejection of the idea that one person can unilaterally send American sons and daughters into harm's way.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, 5 Republicans joined Democrats voting yes, setting up a final vote next week on the war powers resolution, but the House may not approve it, and President Trump says he would not sign it. He's also threatened to veto the health care bill the House approved, with 17 Republicans joining Democrats, voting in favor of 3 years of Obamacare tax credits, which had expired at the end of 2025, driving up the cost of coverage for millions of Americans. GOP Congressman Jason Smith was a no vote and tells Fox he prefers Obamacare reform.
To lower the cost of health care, lower premiums for every single American.
Also in the House, attempts to override the first 2 vetoes of the second Trump term failed, despite both bills passing easily with Republican and Democrat support.
One measure would have allowed Colorado communities to finance a water pipeline to serve tens of thousands. The other would have designated a site in Everglades National Park as part of an Indian reservation. He said he was concerned about the cost of the pipeline. And he said the Native American tribe that would get the Everglades land has been trying to obstruct reasonable immigration policies. In the end, the House failed to reach the 2/3 support needed to override those vetoes. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
Later this hour, we'll get the jobs report, expected to show slightly more hiring last month from November and a slightly lower unemployment rate. Stock futures barely budging ahead of that. In college football's playoffs, Miami beat Mississippi 31-27, advancing to the championship game versus Indiana or Oregon. Those two play tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Friday. It is January 9th, 2026. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. He's on standby. And since it is Friday, we got movie mom Nell Minow. She should be joining us in about 40 minutes, and we'll take a look at anything new at the box office and those pay-per-view channels that are bleeding your account. Police in McAllen have arrested an individual suspected of transporting a murder suspect to Reynosa. 61-year-old Leonel Perez Delgado was taken into custody this week at the Hidalgo port of entry. Police believe that Delgado transported suspected murderer Reynaldo Mata Rios to Reynosa following the shooting death of Mission businessman Eddie Bentoncourt. Delgado was arraigned on a charge of hindering apprehension or prosecution, given a $20,000 bond. A follow-up to this, since Eddie Bentoncourt was very active in the community and also at the state level, Governor Greg Abbott has announced a $30,000 reward for the capture and prosecution of the suspected murderer, Reynaldo Mata Rios. At 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. A local Republican lawmaker joined congressional Democrats in a vote to extend the so-called Affordable Care Act, the subsidies, or Obamacare subsidies. Republican Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz joined 16 other Republicans in voting for the 3-year extension of Obamacare subsidies. The measure passed 230 to 196. Now heads over to the Senate, where the future of that measure is not as positive. In a statement, Monica De La Cruz said that her support of the Obamacare subsidies was in the best interest of some South Texas families. At 7:07 on 710 KURV. State of Texas secures an agreement with the makers of Crest toothpaste
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's deal with Procter & Gamble ensures their marketing and packaging for Crest children's toothpaste accurately depicts the recommended amount of fluoride for kids. The updated packaging rolled out January 1st. The company will have to maintain compliance for the next 5 years. In a statement, Paxton said, quote, when parents are teaching their kids the basic habit of brushing their teeth, they shouldn't have to worry about deceptive marketing endangering their children. He said, quote, misleading images that show excessive amounts of fluoride toothpaste put children's health and brain development at risk. Paxton reached a similar agreement with Colgate-Palmolive late last year. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
Did you make a New Year's resolution, Freddie? No, right. Which is great, because then if you fall off the wagon, right, you don't have to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. Well, they say that the majority of people who made a New Year's resolution, lose weight, whatever, they fall off that wagon today. Today is National Quitters Day.
About 1/3 of all U.S. adults made a New Year's resolution 10 days ago. Thoughts filled with promise to go to the gym, get finances in order, and save money. But statistically, today's the day it's all over, as today is National Quitters Day, and 80% of people who made a resolution give up. There are reasons: unrealistic goals, poor planning, and the big one, the novelty has worn off. There's always next year. I'm Bree Tennis.
It's also National Radio Salespeople Day. Yeah, for what a good combination that is, right? It's accurate with the time. Don't worry, Freddie. They're all asleep. They won't wake up to about noontime today and check the emails. Any orders come in today? Okay, let's go to movies. It's accurate with the time, and big thank you to Martin Farm and Ranch. A big thank you to Dougie as well. Good people going to help you find what you need for your ranch. Martin Farm and Ranch in Edinburgh on Monte Cristo. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina is joining us, and we've got some good news for you. We want some cooler air. Just wait a little bit. Like what, after sundown tonight, overnight, or when do you think that cold finally crosses?
Yeah, it's going to, it's still going to be kind of a mild night, low to mid 60s for us, but it's not going to rebound much tomorrow. So the front will really make its way through as we head through the overnight into tomorrow. See the winds shifting tonight, southwest winds during the day today into the east-northeast and more to the northerly as we head into tomorrow. So I think it's really overnight that front makes its way through and we start to get that cooler air filtering in.
On AccuWeather.com, you guys go check AccuWeather.com on a regular basis, get some of the analysis and some of the videos there as well. Their long-range forecast keeps us in the 60s, it seems, for as highs in the 60s. Starting this weekend and well into next week. You have another strong cold front after that, like late next week, or what's the plan?
We're going to be comfortable right through Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Some occasional rain Tuesday, so we could find a little bit of damp weather Tuesday. That's kind of just a trough hanging out at the coast that could throw some moisture back this way. It does get warmer for the day on Wednesday, and then it cools off again back to the mid 70s for Thursday and Friday. And then as we head into Saturday, back into the upper 60s. So we should have another front late in the week next week.
All right, Bill. Let's see here. So that's your accurate with the forecast. Highs today, upper 80s. And then tomorrow morning should be in the 60s, and leave the temperature there in the 60s tomorrow. And tomorrow night should be what, in the 40s, 50s? Or when do we get the cold night? Saturday?
Let's see. Oops, I rolled down too far. Saturday night down into the 50s. Right near 50 on Sunday night. So we're just going to kind of hold right about 50 degrees for the overnights.
Well, at least the air conditioner gets a rest over the next several days. Let's see here what's on the calendar for today. Well, I mentioned today's National Quitters Day because anybody who made a resolution, so that doesn't apply to us because no one around here is a quitter. We all wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do our job. Let's see here. With all the protests and everything in the news, get this. It's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So you guys buy an extra. If you're at Shipley's right now, you see a cop, give him an extra donut and tell him thanks. Let's see here. National Static Electricity Day as well. Rub your feet a little extra on the carpet.
Probably because it's usually so dry around this time of year that you throw in like bolts like the Emperor in Star Wars.
There we go. All right, pal. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. That is your AccuWeather forecast. Big thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch. And if you see Dougie, like rub your soles on that that carpet at the entrance like several times, and then go touch his arm. Pop, pop. Yeah. Say hi to Dougie from us. Time is 7:12 on the Valley's Morning News. There's a new state law set to take effect in June that will require fire departments that are full-time fire departments to offer free cancer screenings to firefighters. Let's see other state news. National news. Vice President J.D. Vance is announcing a new assistant attorney general position. The job of that individual will be solely to investigate government fraud. Well, it's about time they designate. You think that they would have designated somebody like that by now, right? No. So they've got a new assistant attorney general position whose job will be to investigate government fraud across the U.S. Already has the support of one lawmaker in Texas, Senator Ted Cruz.
I am very glad the Trump administration is leaning in, is tasking the Department of Justice with uncovering the fraud, prosecuting the fraud. It's exactly what they should be doing.
Vice President J.D. Vance told reporters at the White House that the initial focus will be, yeah, you guessed it, the suspected fraud in Minnesota.
The Somali fraud in Minnesota did not occur in a vacuum. It occurred because you had Democrat politicians who were benefiting massively from the fraud.
It's 7:14 on the Valley's Morning News. And a quick business note, Johnson & Johnson has reached an agreement with the Trump administration to cut drug prices in the country in exchange for exemptions from Trump tariffs, which, by the way, just sidebar mention, the High Court is going to be releasing their opinions on some issues today, as early as today, this morning at 8 o'clock our time. No, 9 o'clock our time. They start at 10 o'clock Eastern. We might find out today what the High Court had to say about the Trump tariffs, the Trump emergency tariff use. That might happen as early as 9 o'clock this morning, so stay tuned for that. So back to the Trump tariffs that Johnson & Johnson doesn't have to worry about right now. Creating jobs also puts Johnson & Johnson on the good side of Donald Trump. J&J announced 2 new manufacturing facilities in our country, one in North Carolina and one in Pennsylvania. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. The Venezuela situation, might it affect what you and I pay at the gas pump? A conversation with my friend Tim Snyder from Matador Economics. That's up next on the Valley's Morning News.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com, your local CVS, ShopRite, major groceries, or Wegmans.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you want your business to be everywhere? At News Talk 710 KURV, we make it possible with live local radio, social media, streaming, and digital products. We'll make sure your brand gets noticed, heard, and shared. We have the perfect marketing for any budget or business. Call right now for a free quote at 956-992-8895. We're ready to put you on the map. Let's take your business to the next level. Call 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV, we're your one and only radio station in South Texas. If you want to keep up with the AFC and NFC playoff games this month, every weekend, during the week, every weekend we got the game. So we got the Rams and the Panthers tomorrow, the Packers and Dub Bears tomorrow. Sunday is Dub Bills, Jaguars, Eagles, 49ers, Chargers, and America's team, Freddie, the Patriots on Sunday. NFL action on 710 KURV made possible by McAllen Bolt. Let's talk oil. Let's talk gas and liquefied natural gas and oil patch jobs, all those things. And, of course, Venezuela. Tim Snyder, economist with MatadorEconomics.com. And I mentioned the website, MatadorEconomics.com. Yeah, like Matador. Ole, yeah, MatadorEconomics.com. Go sign up for his free newsletter. Tim Snyder, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the program, my brother. So let's start with Venezuela. And President Trump says that the infrastructure in Venezuela is so awful. The communists, the neo-communists, the dictator in Venezuela, these idiots did quite a job in destroying the oil infrastructure that was created by American companies, American engineers. So they did an awful job in destroying, eating the golden goose. So how long do you know how long it might take if American oil producers, extractors, if they can get in there, how long might it take for them to fix the Venezuela oil industry, for them to flow at a greater portion that they're flowing right now?
Well, it's great to be with you, and Happy New Year back, Sergio.
Yes,
Yes, sir. There's two schools of thought on this. The first school of thought, the first gut reaction from most folks, including analysts like me, as an economist, I look at the specific types of issues that would restrain them from getting this production back online. It was said that it could take up until maybe 2030 till we actually get it to where we can actually have good, solid production growth out of Venezuela. That being said, there are things that can happen, assuming we have agreement with Big Oil. Of course, they're meeting with the president tomorrow in Washington to have discussions about how much exposure they're going to take as they move into Venezuela to try to take over this whole infrastructure issue. They've got to have security for their employees. They've got to have any number of things. And additionally, they've got to have guarantees that in, we got a midterm election right now. We could have a geopolitical issue develop within our own borders here that could significantly put a crimp on the ability for the big E&Ps to come in and fix what needs to be fixed. So there's a lot on the table right now. I would tell you that if we tried real hard, it probably could take about a year to start getting things moving, but it's going to take 4 or 5 to get it where it's actually beginning to increase and grow.
Who were the oil producers that lost everything once Chavez, Maduro, they took over, air quotes now, nationalized, stole all this, the billions in investment and equipment? Who were the big losers that lost everything after Venezuela stole everything?
Well, the two biggest losers was Exxon and ConocoPhillips. They lost significant amounts of assets. They took this to a world court. The court decided in favor of Exxon and ConocoPhillips. They had a reparations plan. The Venezuelans, once they got rid of Hugo Chavez, and this happened in 2007, by the way. But once they got rid of Hugo Chavez and you got Maduro in place, things actually went from bad to worse, and they started not paying their reparations payments back to the companies that had assets there in Venezuela. So it got bad, and right now it's that old, what's the old saying? Once burned, twice foolish. You got to be real careful here. What we do and what steps we take moving forward.
Yeah. Just from your perspective, and looking at the realities, complexities, and disadvantages that you face when you do international investments. Tim Snyder from MatadorEconomics.com. If you were the chief over at Exxon, at Conoco, Phillips, at Chevron, Total, all these other companies, would you invest the billions in Venezuela? Because, as you said, we're in an election year. I don't know, a bunch of lefty Democrats who love communists, and they'll take over and tie the hands of the president from doing anything more in Venezuela. Or there could be people vote stupidly again and vote a bunch of market restrictive politicians, Democrats, who don't love oil or gas, and they're beholden to this world mental illness, this lunacy on climate, human initiated climate change and catastrophe. That might happen in the next presidential election. So why would Exxon, ConocoPhillips, Chevron, why would they invest billions of dollars to repair the Venezuelan oil infrastructure if, fickle American voters will just, turn their backs, do a 180, maybe in a midterm election or a presidential year?
You got to look at it from the standpoint of Exxon specifically, ConocoPhillips specifically, Chevron, whoever. If you look at this, was a painful deal that went on in Venezuela because the United States was helping drive and develop this solid asset. That it's reported and it's actually been under some question whether Venezuela actually does have the world's largest crude oil reserves. But let's just assume for a second that is true. They had spent significant amounts of money, had significant losses. So their stockholders are going to be looking at the board of directors and saying, you guys better make wise decisions because you have a fiduciary responsibility to not make decisions based off of how you feel, but what is best for your stockholders. And so I'm quite sure that's going to be a major topic coming out of tomorrow's meeting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, are there any smaller, medium-sized, moderate-sized oil producers, extractors, and oil companies that maybe would step in if the big dogs don't get the blessing from their board of directors? They won't allocate without some type of guarantee, won't allocate some of their assets to rebuild everything over many years where political winds will blow in different directions. Are there more moderate-sized, medium-sized that perhaps with some federal guarantees, federal backing from Washington might get in there and protection, of course, from the U.S. government for their workers, get in there and do the job and cash in on this long term?
Yeah, it's funny. Chris Wright was asked that very question this morning early and on a news report. I watched the interview, and he said he's been having phone call after phone call after phone call from the medium-sized E&Ps that are like exploration and production companies that are looking to step in, and if Exxon lets them have the lead and maybe get started in this thing, maybe they can get some back channel guarantees from the bigger oil companies or something along those lines. But there are companies that have an interest, and it's contrary to popular belief. You'd have thought that only the big guys would want to risk it, but I'm telling you, there's going to be insurance issues that are going to be important, financial issues, payment issues, those kinds of things, trade issues, how far this Russian aggression that's going on with the dark fleets right now, how far that goes if it stretches back into the Caribbean. So there's an awful lot at play here, and but there is an interest. So, I think you got to pursue it.
How much oil does Venezuela produce? What's the metric on a daily basis? Is that what is measured, right? Daily basis? How much do they produce?
They are, and they've actually significantly reduced that number. They're down to I think they were down to probably the 4.5 to 5 million barrels per day production level when they were up, well over 7 at one point. The United States is at 13.8 million barrels per day, the world's largest producer, and with the cover of U.S. corporate cover for that sort of trade and those kinds of things, it'll be good for the markets. It'll help the consumer. It'll bring prices down. Hopefully, it'll bring break-even costs down too because you're adding more product into the line, and that'll lower your allocate that fixed cost across the line. So that'll make a big difference there. But I'm telling you, there's this is a gamble, Sergio.
I can just see some dude working for a living yawning right now at the gas station going, I don't care, man. Gas is cheap for me right now. So what's the general trend? Is it going to stay cheap in 2026? Gasoline, diesel?
In my mind, yes, it is. But we're gonna have days like what we had just yesterday. We saw the price of gasoline in the Dallas, Texas area jump 35 cents a gallon on this news. Okay. Now, it had pulled back. We were paying $2.14, $2.05, $2.10, somewhere in that area. And all of a sudden, we had a big jump. We're back up near $2.50 a gallon. That should begin to slip back a little bit. Hopefully, we're going to get some certainty. Markets crave stability, Sergio. And the more stability we get, the better price discovery we'll have. And we'll be able to have a better idea. Right now, volatility means you're going to see a lot of price movement.
Yes, sir. I was in West Texas for the holiday. Lubbock, Texas. There was an HE butt. I think the only HE butt, the HEB they have up there, $1.99. I took a picture of it. And the Walmart down the street was at $1.97 during the Christmas and New Year's holiday. Tim, anything else you want to mention as far as oil patch jobs, anything other trend that you want to mention right now, or something that you got coming up on your newsletter?
Well, I will tell you one thing that we're watching tomorrow is with the Supreme Court's Opinion Day, Sergio. It's quite possible the Supreme Court may announce their decision on the IEPA, the Emergency Economic Assistance Act, and whether the president has the authority to issue tariffs under that law. If they announce it tomorrow, they're being real cagey about it right now. But if they make that announcement, the consensus tells us that the Supreme Court will probably lean against the president, but give him room to transfer those tariffs into a different legal authority. One certainly hopes that's the path they're going to take.
Look for his online newsletter from MatadorEconomics.com, MatadorEconomics.com. Economist Tim Snyder. Happy New Year. Be well, brother.
Yes, sir, my friend. Take care.
Yeah, my friend Tim's reference to tomorrow, that's today. Yeah, that conversation I had with him yesterday. So, yeah, today is the day. In fact, 9 o'clock this morning, we might hear the opinion from the High Court when it comes to emergency tariff power that has been used by President Trump. So stay tuned. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. International note of interest, this note from Iran. So Iranian authorities are reportedly cutting telephone lines and internet access as severe economic conditions fuel angry protests across Iran. A complete internet shutdown was imposed in Tehran and other Iranian cities shortly after calls for a mass protest went out on Thursday. Video of protests showing demonstrators by the thousands, if not millions, across the country, blocking roads, setting fires, with some crowds calling for the removal of the religious Iranian leader Ayatollah Khamenei. And there's a new study saying that people who stop taking weight loss injections are likely to regain their weight in about 2 years.
New research published by the British Medical Journal looked at the weight loss medications sold under the brand names of Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound. It found those who take the drugs often start regaining weight within a month after stopping the medication, and that all of the users' weight loss will likely be regained within 2 years. The research also showed that those who stop taking weight loss injections are likely to regain weight 4 times faster than those who regained after quitting diet and exercise. I'm Michael Kastner.
News Talk 710 KURV is your one and only radio station in South Texas for all the AFC and NFC playoff action. Brought to you by McAllen Bolts. We start tomorrow, so tune in. Sports next on 710 KURV.
The eternal struggle. Too hot? Too cold? Forget about it. Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and HVAC will make your home a true Goldilocks zone. Don't bear it alone when your fairy tale home feels like a nightmare gone wrong. Mighty Mike is your shining hero who will save the day with service that's not too early, not too late, but just right. Call Mighty Mike at 956-686-1353 or visit callmightymike.com. Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and HVAC. Get it right. Call Mighty Mike. Mighty Mike to the rescue. Just one call to solve it all.
If you are a business owner, listen to me. Have you given thought about the future? Not the next billing cycle. I'm talking about legacy issues, opportunities to sell at top dollar. RioPlex Business Exchange for $34 a month connects you instantly with qualified buyers, qualified investors, and the tools that you need to know exactly what your business is worth. Visit RioPlexBusinessExchange.com and subscribe today.
CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid. Got an old or unused vehicle you need to get rid of? Donate it to the original CarsForKids.org. Towing is free, and you'll be helping kids in our communities. CarsForKids.org is the best vehicle donation charity impacting the lives of kids thanks to your vehicle donations. carsforkids.org picks up vehicles in any condition, and you'll receive a $50 gift card. Don't delay. Donate today.
Celebrate the new year with a resolution you can easily achieve. Regrow your own natural hair with the simple one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair Restoration. They have changed tens of thousands of lives. Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Find out if you qualify. Call 469-599-HAIR or visit advancedhair.com. Advancedhair.com.
Tune in Monday night as the NFL Wildcard Weekend concludes with your Houston Texans visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stroud looking, throwing over the middle. Hits Nico. A touchdown, Houston!
Coverage begins at 6:30 on News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The Dallas Mavericks once again lost in heartbreaking fashion as the Utah Jazz picked up the win over the Mavs last night, 116-114. The loss marks their 24th of the season and 14th on the road, which ties Dallas with the LA Clippers for 12th in the Western Conference. Next up, the Mavs continue the road trip in Chicago as they take on the Bulls tomorrow night at 7. The Houston Rockets look to get revenge on the Portland Trail Blazers, who got the win over Houston on Wednesday in Rip City. Portland was able to jump out to a 10-point lead at halftime, and the Rockets' comeback effort was close, but Kevin Durant missed the 19-foot jumper at the final second, giving Portland the 1-point win. Tip-off is set for 9 tonight in Portland with coverage on Space City Home Network. And the San Antonio Spurs will also be on the road as they head to Boston to face the Celtics tomorrow night. The Spurs recently got out of a 2-game slump as they defeated the Lakers comfortably on Wednesday. Tip-off is set for 7 tomorrow night in Boston with coverage on FanDuel Sports Network Southwest. With your Texas in the Morning Sports Report, I'm Jet Nelson.
At the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Carson Beck scrambled for a go-ahead 3-yard touchdown run with 18 seconds left as Miami outlasts Ole Miss 31-27 to advance to the national championship game and a shot for its first national title since 2001. The Hurricanes will face either 5th seed Oregon or top-ranked Indiana for the national championship January 19th at their home stadium in Miami Gardens. NBA, Pacers clipped the Hornets to snap their 13-game skid to give head coach Rick Carlisle his 1,000th career win. That's sports. I'm Ronza Moss.
AccuWeather says one more day of warm temperatures. Highs today should be in the upper 80s. Got a cold front crossing tonight. So tomorrow morning, temperatures should be in the 60s and likely not to move much from there. So highs tomorrow should be in the 60s. Tomorrow night, Saturday night, should be, I believe, Jason said Saturday night should be in the low 50s. And then Sunday in the 60s. And then Sunday night to Monday morning, again, in the upper 40s, low 50s. That's your AccuWeather forecast. Border Bridge wait times is posted on KURV.com. Go back to our website and see what's going on. Let's see. It's a 1-hour wait at B&M. Gateway, 1 hour. Now, and it's an hour at the Veterans Bridge as well, headed back to Brownsville. And if you're headed back to McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh, let's see what the update is for them. 45 minutes at all three major bridges for McAllen, Edinburgh, and Mission. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Hope you stick around, find out if there's anything good at the box office or some of those pay-per-view programs that are bleeding your account. Got movie mom Nell Minow in about 10 minutes on 710 KURV.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, your local CVS, ShopRite, major groceries, or Wegmans.
You become a landlord, maybe invest in some properties in South Texas. Man, you could be raking in the cash. We are Boomtown, USA. Did you hear that report from U-Haul yesterday? McAllen, Brownsville area. One of the top destination points where people move into other markets. Yeah, we're it. Texas is number 1, and McAllen, Brownsville, the region, is number 10 on that long list. People are coming to South Texas. They need to live somewhere. So some folks looking into acquiring some rental properties. If you're thinking about it, you better call the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team, Advantage U, because the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team, they know the properties that are for sale, the best properties. Angel, for example, with the Ryan and Brian team, worked with Joaquin. Angel worked with Joaquin from the team to buy a fourplex in Edinburgh. It was his first investment property. So the Ryan and Brian team, knowing all the best houses in the area, even before they're listed, giving you an advantage if you're going to be in that same situation like Angel who worked with the team to find the best property, make an investment, got a fourplex, and there you go. Time to start making some money in an investment property. Angel got an awesome deal and got the investment property that he was looking for. And of course, they have awesome negotiators with the Ryan and Brian team, so you're going to get some concessions as well. Call the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team. Start that conversation today. Here's the number, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drtspриmarycare.com.
Hi there. My name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Rolls-Royce shares have hit fresh record highs every single trading day so far this year as the aerospace and defense firm reaps benefits from multiple directions. The broad theme for the company has lately been one around defense, and that has swept up the stock, leading to a nearly 1,200% gain over the past 5 years. Glencore's shares popped 8% this morning after it was confirmed that a possible $260 billion takeover bid from Rio Tinto was back on the table. If completed, the deal would create the world's largest mining company. The U.S. labor market likely showed modest improvement in December, providing some encouragement for the year ahead, but nothing to get too excited about. Dow Jones predicts that non-farm payrolls likely rose by 73,000 last month, while the unemployment rate edged lower to 4.5%. Data drops in 10 minutes. Futures are slightly higher. Thursday, the Dow Industrials gained 270. The NASDAQ down 104. The S&P 500 closed up roughly half a point. That's Your Money Now.
If you just can't wait to pay your federal taxes, the IRS will start accepting your tax returns on January 26th. And if you made a New Year's resolution, lose weight, fix your finances, whatever, today's National Quitters Day. They make it about 10 days or so into the year. That's it. It's National Quitters Day today. We got Movie Mom Neil Meno coming up in about 4 minutes. So please stick around. Let's see if there's something good at the box office. AccuWeather says highs today should be in the upper 80s, maybe 90. And then tomorrow's high should be in the 60s. And we should stay in the 60s for at least the next 4 or 5 days starting this weekend because of that cold front that crosses tonight. This is the Valley's Morning News. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on News Talk 710 KURV.
When it comes to livestock fencing, the folks at Martin Farm and Ranch believe that if you do it right, then you only do it once, which means by utilizing high-quality materials like Stay Tough fence products and Martin's expertise in fence building, you'll get exactly what you need to keep them in or keep them out. High-tensile wire like Stay Tough allows you to build your fence using less materials and labor. So for your next fence project, come see the fine folks at Martin Farm and Ranch Supply in Edinburgh. Just look for the horse.
You love your family, especially your immediate family, your spouse, your kids. Think of them as you plan for the future. Right now, you're taking inventory of financial situations, insurance, all that stuff. So one of the loving things you could do is to call Carla McCaleb at McCaleb Funeral Home. Mark and Carla McCaleb, I appreciate them allowing me to message to you something that was a reality for me when my mom and dad, well, the Lord called them home about 10 years apart. But many years back, they pre-planned and they prepaid that event, that funeral event, because that sometimes it's a shock, it's unexpected. Whether it's unexpected or expected, either way, the pain is the same. It's best for the immediate family just to huddle together, love each other, not have to worry about making a long list of decisions, and of course, pay for that funeral event. So pre-plan, prepay. It's a good idea. It's a very loving thing to do for your family. Again, Carla or somebody from the McCaleb clan will visit with you. They'll go to you if you're in Brownsville, if you're in Harlingen, Weslaco, if you're in McAllen, Edinburgh, Michigan. They'll go to you and have a sit down and make all those decisions and set up prepayment. Let's go. 956-650-2841.
Jay Gonzalez, the Valley's top lawyer with over 20 years of experience. Jay Gonzalez is simply the best. If you've been injured in a crash, call 1-800-CAR-CRASH today.
Palm Valley Animal Society presents the 52nd Annual Puppy Love Gala, an evening in Venice. Join us as we honor Keely and Byron J. Lewis and celebrate compassion, community, and life-saving work for pets across the Rio Grande Valley. Enjoy dinner, auctions, live entertainment, and the magic of the Venetian Carnival, all for a cause that saves lives. Learn more at pvastx.org/puppylove or email puppylovegala@pvastx.org.
Information on your town and your community.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
Happy Friday. It's the Valley's Morning News. It's January 9th, 2026. I'm Sergio Sanchez along with show producer Fred Cruz. We got Jason Caterina from AccuWeather, and we got, hey, look, it's Friday. We got movie mom Nell Minow in about 2 minutes on 710 KURV. Check of news, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. The National Guard is on standby in Minneapolis, where protests are expected for a third straight day. Following the ICE-involved shooting of a 37-year-old woman, Fox's Alex McAdams in the city.
When you ask the feds, they say quite clearly that this agent acted in self-defense when he opened fire and killed this woman in Minnesota. But when you ask the protesters here on the ground, you guys, they say that ICE agents are killers and they want them out of their community.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wants residents use today as a day of unity to remember Renee Good. Anger in Portland, Oregon. Federal agents shoot two accused gang members who DHS says has ties to Tren de Aragua. President Trump, along with top cabinet members, will be meeting with oil company executives, including Chevron and Exxon, over rebuilding the oil industry. Venezuela, now that Nicolas Maduro is sitting in a Brooklyn, New York detention center. America's listening to Fox News.
Quick local note, police in McAllen have arrested an individual suspected of transporting a suspected murderer to Reynosa, to Mexico. 61-year-old Leonel Perez Delgado, taken into custody on Wednesday at the Hidalgo Bridge. Investigators believe that Mr. Delgado transported the suspected murderer, Reynaldo Mata Rios, to Reynosa, following the shooting death of Mission businessman, local leader Eddie Bentancourt. Eddie Bentancourt was involved in local government issues and state issues as well. Delgado was arraigned on a charge of hindering apprehension, $20,000 bond. Governor Greg Abbott has announced a $30,000 reward for anyone who provides information that leads to the capture and prosecution of the suspected murderer, Reynaldo Mata Rios. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, and you know what that song means. It's a Friday. First of all, it's wonderful. And then all of a sudden, the show gets beautiful, gorgeous, splendors. We got movie mom Nell Minow joining us. Which I say that because you can join us on X Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and you can see our beautiful mom, movie mom Nell Minow. And that's not the only nice thing to say about this segment, because mom's got some real stinkers of movies. Right now, right? You said this is like one of the worst times of the year to.
This is the worst time of the year. The first week of the year is always the slowest week in movie theaters. All the big awards movies came out in December, and all of the stuff that has been sitting on the shelves that they're trying to sneak out, hope we don't notice, that's when we get them. So we start with Primate. All you need to know about Primate, which did not screen for critics, that means they don't think they'll get a single good review, is about it's a family that adopted a monkey, and everybody loves the monkey, and the monkey's a member of the family, and then the monkey gets rabies, and it gets very, very bad.
Yeah, that sounds like wholesome family entertainment. Okay.
Absolutely.
we'll
Okay.
see.
We also have, I don't even remember the movie Greenland. This has nothing to do with what's going on with Trump right now, but Greenland was a movie that was a horror movie with Gerard Butler, but they've made a sequel called Greenland 2 Migration. So unless you're a huge fan of the original, I wouldn't bother with that one.
Was that, there we go. Freddie confirmed it for me. That's when I think an asteroid hit, the people went underground, something
End
like
of the world stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the movie that I did see this week, you're going to like because it's all about radio. It's based on a real story. There was a guy in 1977 who was very upset with the bank because they wouldn't give him a break on his mortgage. And so he took a hostage, the banker's son, the banker's adult son, who's also a banker. And what did he do then? He called his favorite radio guy and he talked about it on the radio for a couple of days before they finally sorted it all out. I will just say, spoiler alert, nobody died in this. Okay. The hostage is still alive. The radio guy did a great job, played by Coleman Domingo. He's absolutely wonderful. Bill Skarsgård is the hostage taker and he's terrific. So it's a very sort of dark movie, but it's based on a true story.
Wow. I got to see that. What's the name of that movie? What is
that
it?
one is called Dead Man's Wire because when he took the guy hostage, he hooked him up to a shotgun so that if anybody tried to take him out, the guy would die too. The hostage would die too.
Yeah, I'm there. I got to see that one.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how things played down, Freddie? Well, now for a commercial break. Let me talk to you about the local restaurant. Okay, now back to our
sorry, hostage taker. We have to do the weather.
Weather and traffic on the ones. Wow. That's
you should see that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, a movie that is now expanding more widely is Bradley Cooper's Is This Thing On with Will Arnett, who co-wrote the film, as a guy whose marriage is falling apart. So what does he do? He becomes a stand-up comic. And a lot of real stand-up comics are in that one. I thought it was just okay. Maybe wait for it to come on streaming. On streaming, I want to recommend a little movie that came out on Netflix over the holidays that didn't get any notice. It's got real life couple Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick. It's called The Best You Can. And it's about two lonely older people who are dealing with family problems. Her husband, who's a good bit older than she is, played by Judd Hirsch, has got dementia. His daughter has got some instability, mental health issues. And they find each other and become friends. She's a doctor. He's a retired cop. And the chemistry between the two of them is just off the charts. And it's just a nice movie called The Best You Can. Tron Ares, bad movie in theaters, even worse movie on the small screen because you don't get all the great visuals.
Yeah, and you're paying for it too. on the streaming service, yeah.
I know. And then we've also got a very weird horror movie with another real-life couple, Dave Franco and Alison Brie, in a movie called Together, about a couple who go away for the weekend, kind of improve their relationship, and they literally get stuck together. Their bodies stick together.
All right, that's it for this week. I guess we'll speak in a couple of weeks then.
Yes, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. The movies will start to get a little better. We'll have the Oscar nominations out. We can talk about that. So yeah, things will be looking up, but it'll be a couple of weeks.
Producer Freddie reminding you, bring him a refrigerator magnet wherever it is that you're going, traveling to. He's collecting refrigerator magnets.
We're going to LA.
Bring one for him. Love you, Mom. Have a wonderful weekend. That's movie mom Nell Minno every Friday on 710 KURV. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Call them. Get that commercial property of yours. Get the roof checked for free. Top experts at Chamberlain Roofing, Waterproofing, 125 plus years of experience. And man, check the footprint. Check the long list of all these projects, the ones they've done here in South Texas and Texas, other major projects nationwide. It's impressive. You can trust the expert opinion of these commercial roofing experts. To tell you where the weak spots are at the specific type of roofing system that you have. It's all free. It's all free. This is how they shake hands and meet potential potential new clients in the future. You want to do business with them. That's up to you. But in the meantime, you get an expert assessment of your commercial roofing system. Cutting edge roof installation, repair, upkeep technology, advanced waterproofing solutions, precisely what you need for all your commercial properties. You got to make sure that roofing system works and you avoid all that water coming down at you. ChamberlainLTD.com. Again, that free expert assessment and opinion of what's going on. 956-655-6178.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Attention all you news junkies. You're tuned to 710 KURV and KURV.com.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather